Hey y'all, it's Taylor. I wanted to make a video on how I edit my pictures, how I do my stories and my highlight covers. I know I've gotten a bunch of requests to do this video and a lot of people have been wondering how I do my photos specifically, and a couple other people have been wondering about, my stories and my highlight covers. So I just wanted to hop on here and help y'all and maybe offer some suggestions. So I really hope this helps and I hope you enjoyed this video. So all you'll need to edit your photos is Lightroom CC. I really like this app. I've been using it for quite a while now and I feel like it really just gets the job done and you can do a lot with it. I'm by no means an expert at this, but this is what works for me. And I will say though that we all are different in our own beautiful ways, and we all have different skin tones and hair colors. So what I do for my photos might have to be adjusted depending on what color hair you have, like I said, your skin tone or whatever. So just keep that in mind, but can always be adjusted. I know sometimes I'll maybe pull up a shadow of a photo or something, but if you have really light hair that might not work for you. So it's really trial and error. That's how I learned how to do this. So but I think this will help. These are the basics. So I open my Lightroom app. This is the Lightroom CC and it's free, which is awesome. This is before and this is after, and I'm just gonna keep this on as it is because it gets a little confusing if I'm just going back and forth. So I'm just gonna show you guys how I do it, and if you get the app you can kind of just follow along this way. So I up my exposure because if you look down before, it just kind of, it needs to be brightened up. So I up my exposure, I keep the contrast about the same. Highlights a little bit up. I don't want to go too much to where I lose the background. I keep my shadows about the same. You can go up a little bit if you have brown hair like me though. I will say just kind of take caution to this because your hair can easily get a little bit gray looking. And then I pull my whites down so you can see the background better. And I usually do this for just about every photo. It just works if the background is something that's pretty cool in this photo. And then I always up my blacks because I don't want the photo to look too dull. Then I hop over to color and I always turn my temperature up. So I will say temperature and exposure are the two things you really want to just up on your photos because that will give it that effect of the lighter and crisper and cleaner look. So then I put my tint always a little bit to the pink color. If you look on my Instagram, you'll see where the colors are a little bit pinky. And then for vibrance, I keep that about the same. Saturation is down because it's the winter time and I don't want to look, too fake or whatever. So yeah, these are my color tabs. I'll just quickly go through them. The luminance I like to put down just a tad. You don't want to look like not yourself, That's a big key to, I think, Instagram photos is you still want to look yourself, but you want to have a little bit of a cute filter over them just so they look all the same. And I know this word is so annoying, but aesthetically pleasing. You want to kind of all have the same look, at least for me. I know it just I look at my Instagram page and it's all the same. I just feel like it looks better. And then yellow, I have it about the same, although sometimes I'll pull that luminance up and I'll pull that saturation down depending on the photo, but I think for this one, it looks pretty good. So for this next photo, I'm going to show y'all how it looks like before. So this is beforehand. You can tell it's a little bit more dull. It looks not so clean. And then after, all I did was up the temperature, like I said, and then you always want to focus on upping your temperature and your exposure. That's very important to get the kind of look of my photos, or just any really airy and crisp photo in general. And then vibrance and saturation are the same for this photo, and everything in this orange tab is about the same. Like I said, you want to focus on the red, orange, and yellow tabs mainly. Unless you have a lot of grass in the background, you don't want it to look so vibrantly green. You might want to just pull the vibrance or saturation of that green down, but in this we're pretty good. Then I take my saturation, I move it up, and then I keep my luminance about the same. You'll see the difference in the saturation here, but it's all very trial and error because we all have different skin tones and different things about ourselves, so we want to keep it as natural as we can while still having a little bit of a filter effect. So then you're going to hop over to the red side. I kept everything about the same. I just played with it very lightly. And then for the yellow, this is where it really comes into play because for my last picture I really didn't mess with this, but for the saturation, look at the difference beforehand, after. It just makes it look more white, which is the main point of my photos. I like the background to look white or kind of beigey. Is that a word? Probably not. We're going to roll with it though. And then for my luminance, I'm going to pull that up to 100 because look at the difference in the background before and after. And then also I messed with this blue color because I know I keep swiping up to make sure it's recording because I've literally recorded this video 4 times, but we're rolling with it, so that's why I keep going up. But so then for the blue, you'll see where I put the luminance up a little bit because I think it softens up the photo. So yeah, I'll just kind of quickly go over this. So exposure up a little bit, contrast maybe a little bit down to add a little bit of a crisper effect. The highlights are down a tad because I feel like it makes it not look so splotchy. And then shadows are up just a tad, and whites go down usually if the background looks pretty like similar to this, or something that's not incredibly where you want to see every little piece of it, because if you go up you can kind of blow it out. And then blacks go up just a tad to soften up the photo. So that's what I do. It's super simple. So to kind of summarize this, in case that was a little bit much, because I know you see like it going back and forth and it can be a little bit confusing. So I really focus on the orange, yellow, and red tabs, and I kind of just move them depending on what the photo looks like, because obviously every photo is going to be different, and it's really easy to just like slap like one general thing on a photo and just call it good. But I think if you kind of just take it and tailor it a little bit more to the photo, you'll get better results. And I know sometimes it can be confusing because you're like, I want this to match the rest of my photos, but what I do is I just like will screenshot like my feed, and then I can like kind of compare it to that and say, okay, this is similar. And I will say that like not all of my photos look the exact same. If you go back to summer, they were really vibrant, probably a little bit too much, whereas now I've kind of learned what I like in my editing style. Like I said, always up the exposure and temperature. Temperature to look a little bit warmer, and the exposure just to brighten up the photo. And really focus on your whites and your blacks too, because that will help your photo turn out really nicely. And just really tweak it to what works for you. I would say follow these general guidelines, but you know, if you need to move something a little bit a different way, don't get scared, don't be worried, because we're all different in our own ways. And I really just hope this works out for you, and I hope you love it. And if you guys ever have any questions about this, feel free to DM me or message me or whatever, because I would love to help y'all. I just think these photos look really cute and clean, and I've really been trying to figure out like exactly my editing style, but I think this is pretty good. And it depends on every photo though. So I hope this works, and I hope this helps. And now we're gonna move in to how I do my Instagram stories. So I use the app called Unfold, and this app is amazing. It's all I really do for my stories, unless I post just like a regular picture on my story. I'll always use Unfold. I just think it makes your photos look really nice and really clean. I'm gonna start by just adding a new story, and right here you can see where you can do a bunch of different templates and stuff like that. I really like to go over to this RP1 and FF1. I think these are either like 99 cents or $1.99, it depends, but I really like FF1. You'll see here, this is really what I use if you follow me on Instagram. So let's say for instance, maybe it was my boyfriend's birthday or something, and I want to wish him a happy birthday. I would just choose these two photos and really just move them however I want it to. And then you can change your background colors to a lot of pretty shades. I really like this simple kind of beigey brown one, and you can always add in text. Begin writing your story so you can edit it. I like this one, and I like Northwell, I think it is. And let's say I just wanted to say happy birthday. I could do that. I could edit the text. I can make it bigger. Different colors. So let's say this blue color. Move that down. And happy birthday, and you can save it and put it on your story. I just think it's super cute, and it looks really like you put a lot of effort into it, when in reality it's really easy to do. For this next style of story, it's still from the Unfold app, but I wanted to kind of do a different style. So I'm going to post a picture of whenever I went to Georgetown, and so you'll see like you can kind of tweak it depending, and it just looks cute. It's something to add to your story, and just say like, you know, you can add your location, maybe like a song or something over it, and it just looks really put together. Or another example could be whenever I did some photos for one of my best friends and I wanted to put them on my story. So here it is. It just looks really cute, and I can kind of just tweak them depending. Add a cute little background and pop that on my story and tag her, and it just looks like I spent a lot of time, but it looks really thoughtful too, which is what I like. So I think highlight covers can really make your page look put together and cleaner. I know I post a lot about music and my friends and food, so having highlight little tabs for those just make my profile that much neater. So I have loved using Canva for a while now, and I continue to use it because it's so easy to navigate and it's very user friendly. So I'm over here on Canva, and I do the see all option for Instagram story, and I go blank, and down here in the bottom I add the little plus sign, and I'm gonna do a graphic. So let's say I want to do a heart because maybe I'm talking about my boyfriend or my family. So there are a lot of options. So let's say I want to use this right here. I can do a color that I think fits my profile best. Let's say I'm gonna do that kind of pinky color right there. I just put done, and I save that. And what's really interesting is that Canva will save the colors that you've used. So if you want to keep all the same color for your highlight tabs, you can do that. Or let's say that I want to delete that and maybe do stars. I can hop on here and click stars. And I have stars and I have the color that I previously used. So Canva is my go-to. I also use Canva to make a lot of things for YouTube, and I can definitely do another video on that if you would like me to. And I really hope this video helped. I know these are the 3 things I use mainly, and I swear by them. I think they work great. And if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about today, feel free to leave a comment or send me a message. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.